Hey Wendell Wolves, this is Miss Dextra, your teacher librarian at Wendell Middle. Well, you're starting your first unit at Wendell Middle School and it's on mythology. So I wanted to show you how you can find some online resources, some print resources, and other things that we have here in our library that you could come check out. So we're going to get started. If you go to our library page on the school website and look under the Destiny Catalog, click there and you'll come up to the Destiny Catalog website. You would have to select Wendell Middle from the list of schools and then click on Catalog to get where we are right now. If I'm doing a search, click on the search bar and you want to type in a keyword. What is a keyword for mythology? You could type in myth, you could type in gods. I'm going to just type in the word mythology, make it simple. And when I do that, I could select either keyword, which gives me all of the description, it searches all of the description words, and I could also hit subject, and that tells me if a book is categorized just as a mythology book, it's going to show up in this list. So we're going to just select the subject. Notice that we have 202 choices here. When you scroll down, you can see that these are sorted. See how it is sorted by call number. The call number is this number right here, and it's the address of the book. So it tells you where to find it in the Media Center. If I see a number, generally that means it's a nonfiction book. And when you come to the Media Center, I'll show you where the nonfiction books are. When I select details, I can see more information about the book, like the book's description, if it's available, and I can add it to the list. Something else I wanted to show you about the description is down here under Explore. You can see that it is categorized as a mythology book, and if I click Find It, it will find all the other books in the Media Center that are also cataloged the same way. So if you like a book, you could go to the details, see what you like about it, and then find other books like it. You could also find books by the author. If you have a particular author that you enjoy reading, you could find other books by that author. Or if you happen to like a series, you could select series and then find all the books that we have in our Media Center in that series. So let's say we added it to a list, and I'm going to show you how to look at the list that you created. Now, before I connected here, I did create a list of books to show you. So I select my resource lists, I look at my list, and then I view my list, and I took some time to select some books for you to see. Notice again that we start with the nonfiction books, and I selected a handful that I thought you might like. So let's take a look and see what we have. Number one, I wanted to show you when you look for books to make sure that it is in, so you don't go crazy looking for the book in the Media Center if it's not there. If you like a book and you want it, but it is out, you can certainly ask Miss Dextra, and I would be happy to put it on hold for you. This particular book, don't know much about world myths. This gives you more information than just Greek myths, which is what you're studying right now in The Lightning Thief. So this particular book talks about world myths in Africa, in the Middle East, in the Far East, in the Mediterranean, all over the world. So if that's something that grabs your attention, this might be a book for you. If I want to go back and see my list that I looked at before, let's go up here to the breadcrumbs and select My List. If I scroll down the list a little bit more, this one's kind of cool. It's called Into the World of the Dead, Astonishing Adventures in the Underworld. It's a collection of tales also with photographs and artifacts. And I'm not sure if you know, but artifacts are things, objects that are stored in museums. Came from a long time ago for people to see today. We also have a feature called Title Peek. If I click on this title, it gives me more details about the book. It gives you a close-up look of the cover. It gives you an annotation, in other words, another summary of the book, and you might know a little bit more about the author. Each title peek has varying information, so you know, some of it's really detailed, some of it's not really that detailed, but title peek is also another interesting thing that you could do. the New York Public Library is a huge library in New York City, and they published the series called the New York Public Library whatevers. This is a series on mythology, and they also compiled a whole bunch of mythology stories from around the world, including Egypt and Greece, and there are also Roman, Celtic, Norse, and Native American stories in here. So if you're looking for a variety of mythology, this is a good one. Ooh, I like DK books. Where's my DK book? Maybe we'll get to that later. I thought I saw one in there. This particular one is called The Golden Fleece and the Heroes Who Lived Before Achilles. This one's kind of cool. It's myths about the Argonauts and their quest for something called the Golden Fleece. It's tales of creation of the heavens and the earth, according to what ancient Greeks believed. And you've heard of Hercules. This also gives the story of Hercules. And then if you know what a minotaur is, it's kind of a mythological animal, and this has the story in there as well. So let's look at our list. What else do we have? We have more than just nonfiction books. We have graphic nonfiction books. So graphic means drawn. And we have graphic novels, which are like Dragon Ball Z and Bleach and gosh, we have a whole bunch of them. So we have graphic novels, which are fictional, but these are graphic nonfiction books. This one's called Roman Myths, and when I look at my title peak, to give you a little closer view, it's like a cartoonish kind of book about Roman myths. And this one has, in like a cartoon format, it gives you 3 stories about Roman mythology. So if you like to look at comic books, you might like the graphic stories. Okay? Let's go back. And if I scroll down just a little bit more, here's another graphic book which is neat. This is The Adventures of Hercules. And Hercules is a son of Zeus, and he has to undergo 12 tasks to pay for his past mistakes. So it's a good adventure story if you like adventure, especially if you like graphic novels. This is a really fun book to read. Okay. Some other interesting books that we have on mythology include The Mighty 12, the superheroes of Greek myth. This one has a lot of cartoons in it. It also has poems. It has lots of illustrations. It has 12 different stories about the most impressive Greek gods and goddesses of Olympus. So if you're really interested in Greek mythology, this is a fun book to have. And I particularly like the story of the Odyssey, which you will probably read in high school. This is a beautifully illustrated graphic novel of Homer's tale of Odysseus and his epic journey, where he encounters witches, other obstacles on his journey, and he returns home after fighting the Trojan War. Again, it's beautifully illustrated. Highly recommend this book. Okay. What else do we have? If I get to the bottom of my books and I see I have more in my list, you see down here where it has number 2, I have a second page, so I can go there. I did put some fiction books in your list. We have some fiction books with a mythology theme. This particular one is really cute, and the kids really love this story. It's called Oh My Gods, and it's a fictional story when her mother suddenly decides to marry a near stranger, Phoebe, whose passion is running, soon finds herself living on a remote Greek island. And she completes her senior year at an ancient high school where students and teachers were all descended from gods and goddesses. So it's a fun story. It's also a story about a girl who's trying to belong, and it's a very popular book, so you might like it too. This is a book about a boy, and this boy is cast out of his village. He is ostracized from his village, and he gets captured by a monster. The monster puts him on display with Medusa, the lady with all the snakes in her hair, the goddess with all the snakes in her hair. He's also put into a container with the Sphinx, which is a bad god, and Minotaur, and other beasts from mythology. He has to escape. He helps them escape, and then they all join forces together to survive and then find his way home. So it's a great adventure story, lots of fights and good stuff. Monsters, fights, good stuff. Let's take one last look at this last page here. And I'm trying to find you. I thought I had put some books in here that were ebooks, but yes, there's one. Okay, so let's take a look at Nobody's Prize. I'm not sure if you have heard of Helen of Troy, but she was in mythology known as the most beautiful woman in the world, and men fought over her. And anyway, she's an epic, beautiful woman. So Princess Helen of Sparta maintains her disguise as a boy to join her unsuspecting brothers as a part of the crew of Argo, which is a ship commanded by Prince Jason in his quest for the Golden Fleece. So that's part of the tale of Jason and the Golden Fleece. That's a different take on that story. Oh, and if you have been reading the Rick Riordan books, we have a lot of the Rick Riordan series in our media center. I can certainly show you where those are. This particular one is called The Demigod Files. It's in the Percy Jackson series, but it's kind of an ancillary book. It's an extension book from that series. This one talks about 3 of Percy Jackson's adventures. He battles mythological monsters in the modern world, and his adventures at Camp Half-Blood. So it's an extension book from the Percy Jackson series. And then last, I wanted to show you ebooks. So if you see the letter E on your list, let's go back and look at that. So notice how these are books. This particular one has the letter E. We have some electronic books. You will have to be logged into Follett, into the Destiny account, to get in, and I can certainly show you how to do that when you're in the media center. So remember to ask me when you're here for orientation, and I will be happy to show you how to create your account. You would log in with your username and your password, and then you can check out the book but read it online on a tablet or your laptop, or any digitally connected device, and you get the same checkout period. You get a 3-week checkout period, and it automatically checks it back in, so you can't lose it. Well, that was a brief overview of how our Destiny catalog works. I'm really excited to meet all of you and help you along on your reading adventures. Hope to see you very soon.